Hey everyone, this is Roberta Eastman at Home Buyers Inventory. Welcome back and thank you so much for keeping your questions coming. Today we're going to actually go through the paperwork checklist. And that's really important because the paperwork is really simple. And we want to make sure that you're very clear on what you have to have so that you can expedite us going through your background and you understand exactly what you need from us. So today we're going to answer the question, what paperwork checklist is needed to qualify for one of our rent-to-own homes? So first of all, we would like to thank you for wanting to apply for one of our rent-to-own homes. We really appreciate that you would want to do business with us, and that's why we're going to go ahead and answer your questions for you again today. And if you need or have other questions, you can always look at our blog and find the answers. And if you don't have an answer there, you can't find it, make sure you go ahead and contact us because we're happy to answer your questions. So again, thank you very much for wanting to apply for one of our rent-to-own homes. We will always make sure that it's a good fit for you and a good fit for us before we move forward. But let's let you know how you get started. So here at Home Buyers Inventory, we have a paperwork checklist to help you track the paperwork that you'll want to turn in order to move into one of our new homes with us. The paperwork is very simple. It is the same type of paperwork you would need for any rental you are applying for. The paperwork is important and you will need to have it submitted for each person over the age of 18 who will be living in the home in order to qualify for one of our rent-to-own homes. You should complete all the information thoroughly and return it to our email or our fax, or you may give it to the person locally who shows you the home as well, our local team member on the ground. When you as a tenant buyer sign a rental agreement and a lease option to purchase agreement, you agree to rent the property for a specified period, after which time you can purchase the home from us. One of the greatest benefits is you are guaranteed the purchase price and the rent during the term or time period. So on the paperwork checklist, this is what you need to submit. You need to submit your background checks. This is a 2-page document, very simple, easy to fill out. A photostat copy of your driver's license or picture identification card, such as your social security card. We at Home Buyers Inventory, we are not worried about your credit score when we run your background checks. We know that life happens and what people have on their credit reports. You see, we know what it's like to have bad credit. I personally had a bad credit and a low credit score myself. So please don't be worried if you don't have a high credit score. Now what we do look at is if you have had an eviction within the last 3 years. Other things that we're going to look at is your income stability. What we'll look at is your latest paycheck stub for 3 months. The second piece for your income stability, in addition, if you are self-employed, a notarized letter stating how much money you make. We also know what it's like to not be able to prove income when you are self-employed. We understand because we face this ourselves. When you're self-employed, you want to take all the write-offs you can, which means your taxes show that you don't make any income. That's why we accept, along with your taxes, a notarized letter from you stating your annual income as your proof of income. For financial requirements, last year's W-2 and a copy of last year's income tax return. And the second thing you'll need is bank statements for 3 months. If you are an independent contractor, you would provide a 1099 versus a W-2. Now let's go through the background checks. We will likely check out your personal histories to see if you have a criminal record or other legal problems. We want to make sure that you don't have any legal complications that could complicate your lease. We may consider your history as a tenant to ensure that you pay on time and that you have not been evicted. We want to find a trustworthy tenant. Number 2, we look at income stability. We will want to be sure that you can afford the home. We will want to see a copy of your pay stub to determine if you can make enough money to pay the rent on the property. The rule of thumb is that your rent should be 42% or less of your income. Additionally, we want to see that you're making a stable income. See, you have the means to improve your credit score if your income is stable. We will share with you the resources you can use to help you improve your credit score over the next few years and qualify for a mortgage at the end of your lease. We will never set anyone up to fail if they cannot afford the rent on the home in the first place. Number 3, the financial requirements. We require a lease option fee. Now, that lease option fee depends on the home, but it always goes towards the purchase price of the home. On paper is a credit if you execute your option to purchase. If you do not execute the option, the lease option fee becomes non-refundable. Those fees will be listed in your rent-to-own agreement. Being able to pay for these fees will be a requirement to proceed with the rent-to-own agreement. Number 4, credit score. While there are not standard credit score requirements to sign a rent-to-own contract, we will likely check your score, just so that we can help you determine what has to happen. See, we want to see that you have a path towards improving your credit score so that you can qualify for a mortgage at the end of the lease, and we will help you do that. Rent-to-own is a path to a sale, which we will help you build your credit score. Your credit score is just a baseline to help you get your dream home. Use your best judgment and consider the above requirements when you're deciding whether a rent-to-own is right for you. Do you meet the qualifications? If you can, now might be a good time for you to consider rent-to-own. If not, how can you work towards meeting them so that you can benefit from a rent-to-own agreement in the future? Meeting the above requirements will bring you closer to qualifying for a lease with option to buy and to purchase your own home. To schedule an appointment for a viewing, visit our website at www.homebuyersinventory.com. That's www.homebuyersinventory.com, or you may call us at 330-406-9464. That's 330-406-9464. Feel free to call us or leave a message or comment in our Facebook account. You can also email us at support@homebuyersinventory.com, or please visit our facts page for more info and get free budget home decorating tips.